Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Chicago Fire softened the blow of upcoming exits by bringing this character back. We're not happy that Darren Ritter, Daniel Kurai, and Sam Carver, Jake Lockett, are leaving. They have become fan favorites and developed strong bonds with virtually every other member of Firehouse 51, themselves included, and yet they are being written out of the show before the next season. It's never a good time to hear news that two of your favorite characters are leaving a show, but the timing of this particular announcement was rough. It coincided with the episode Post-Mortem, in which we were told that another firefighter, Jack Damon, Michael Bradway, was critically injured in a building collapse and may never be able to serve 51 again. In the span of 30 minutes, Chicago Fire presented the potential exit of three core characters, two of which, Carver and Damon, had just returned after lengthy season 13 hiatuses. Thankfully, we have confirmation that we are getting one of these three Damon back. The firefighter was still laid up in the hospital during the episode Permanent Damage. Damon actually opened the episode, as Kelly Severide, Taylor Kinney, paid him a visit and assured him that he has a good chance of recovering. Damon, understandably, was not sold. He was later paid a visit by Lizzie Novak, Jocelyn Houdin, who Damon has continued to flirt with, despite his efforts to cut things off and focus on his career. Novak was present when Damon's doctor entered the room, and while she initially tried to remove herself to give the firefighter some privacy, he insisted that she stay. The doctor then told Damon that he has some lung damage, but is expected to make a full recovery, which means he will eventually be fit for duty. It's a wonderful moment of relief, and the fact that Novak was present, at Damon's behest, no less, suggests that there will be a lot more to their relationship down the line. We're relieved that Damon is going to make a full recovery for multiple reasons. 1. Him and Novak are a good pair, and it would have been a waste to set this dynamic up only to throw it away by having Damon leave again. 2. The firefighter will be present in his half-brother and sister-in-law's life as they embark on parenthood and adopt a child. The Severides has never been especially functional, and Damon himself has lamented the fact that he's not been close with the rest of his family, so this is a nice progression for all involved. We wish Ritter and Carver were staying, but we're relieved we don't have to say goodbye to three characters. Big changes are always around the corner at Chicago Fire's Firehouse 51. Whether it's rookies moving up, veterans moving on, or emotional goodbyes that leave fans reaching for tissues, the series has mastered the art of transition. But this season, facing the looming exits of two beloved characters, the showrunners pulled off a masterstroke to soften the blow. They brought back a familiar face whose return sparked hope, nostalgia, and a much-needed sense of home. Enter Matt Casey. When fans heard whispers that Jesse Spencer would once again don the familiar turnout gear, it felt like a balm to wounded hearts. Casey, the former captain who had left Chicago for a new life in Oregon, had always been the heart and steady hand of Firehouse 51. His surprise return couldn't have come at a better time, not just for his fellow firefighters, but for viewers bracing themselves for goodbye. The episode wasted no time. In a scene that felt both casual and deeply significant, Casey stepped through the firehouse doors, flashing that familiar, boyish grin. The reaction from the team was instant and heartwarming. Herman dropped the mug he was holding, no doubt filled with black coffee or something stronger. Kid rushed over with an incredulous laugh, and Severide, in classic Severide fashion, just shook his head with a smirk before pulling his old friend into a bear hug. It wasn't just a cameo either. Casey's return had purpose. With Chief Bowden facing new administrative battles, Severide still half distracted with arson investigations, and the general mood at 51 feeling unsettled, Casey's steady leadership filled a gap that had been widening since his departure. More importantly, his presence allowed for organic storytelling that eased audiences into the idea that yes, things were changing, but the heart of Firehouse 51 would keep beating. For fans mourning the soon-to-be exits of Mouch, rumored to be retiring after a health scare, and Violet, whose career might be taking her to new heights at another house, Casey's presence served as a reminder. Goodbyes are painful, but the bonds forged at 51 are forever. The writers cleverly wove Casey back into the narrative without undermining his original departure. he wasn't just back because his return came with layers, a complicated decision after struggling with the pull between his life in Oregon and the place that had always felt like home. Casey had unfinished business in Chicago, personal and professional, and it was clear from his first shift back that Firehouse 51 still needed him, and maybe, just maybe, he needed it too. One particularly touching moment came during a late-night rooftop scene with Brett, his former fiancé. With the twinkling skyline behind them, Brett and Casey shared an honest conversation about choices, timing, and what it means to belong. It was bittersweet, laced with regret and hope in equal measure. Though both had moved forward, their mutual respect and deep affection remained palpable. It was a beautiful, grown-up acknowledgement of the paths they'd taken, separate yet forever intertwined. Of course, Casey's return wasn't all tears and longing. He wasted no time falling back into old rhythms, cracking jokes with Cruz, sharing weary glances with Gallo, and mentoring the new probies who looked at him with a mix of awe and terror. There was something reassuring about seeing him slip into the captain's seat, calling shots with the same quiet authority that had once made him the Rock of 51. It also created an opportunity for powerful storylines about legacy. As Casey advised Ritter on leadership, sparred playfully with Stella over tactical decisions, and supported Bowden in delicate political battles, it became clear. Firehouse 51 wasn't just about the people who wore the uniform, it was about the lessons, the spirit, and the sense of family they passed down. Casey embodied that better than anyone. Thematically, his return sent a clear message to viewers: though faces may change, the spirit of Chicago Fire remains unbreakable. Still, the bittersweetness lingered. Mouch's inevitable goodbye loomed over the episodes like a gathering storm cloud. Cruz wrestled with the idea of stepping into larger boots. Violet faced difficult decisions about loyalty versus ambition, and yet Casey's steady hand helped frame these transitions not as losses, but as evolutions. In one particularly poignant scene, Casey sat with Mouch and Molly's, a couple of beers between them. No grand speeches, no overwrought goodbyes, just two old friends sitting in comfortable silence, the weight of years shared between them. Mouch raised his glass in a simple toast. To the next chapter, whatever it looks like. Casey clinked his own glass against it, and for a moment, the ache of coming change softened into something almost beautiful. In a show built on adrenaline, loyalty, and heart, bringing Matt Casey back at this crucial juncture was more than just fan service. It was a strategic, emotional move that honored the past while preparing for the future. His presence grounded the show in its roots, reminded fans of the journey they've taken with these characters, and offered a gentle assurance that though change is inevitable, home is always waiting. As the season barrels toward its emotional farewells, Casey's return doesn't erase the sadness, but it cushions it. It reminds everyone watching that Firehouse 51 isn't just a place, it's a feeling. And no matter who comes and goes, that feeling endures. So when the tears start falling, and they will, fans can take heart in knowing that Chicago Fire still knows how to honor its legacy, even as it blazes new trails. And thanks to Matt Casey, the fire burns just as brightly as ever.